Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to teach you how to set up a new option for scheduling appointments with parents and even kids, depending on what your choice is. So I'm going to direct you to Pick a Time. Not Pick a Time, it's Picktime. This app is completely free to teachers. You're going to go to the site and you're going to sign up. You can sign up with your Google. So go down here to sign up with Google. Pick your account. I'm using Miss Turner's currently. So obviously it'll fill in your email and your name, your business name. I would leave as Richmond Hill High School or Bryan County Schools. It's up to you. You will select other as your industry and then just put education as other industry. Make sure that you're accurate on picking your time zone. Obviously, we're going to go with the very first for Eastern Standard Time. And it does require you put in a currency. If you will just type in USD, it'll say the US dollars and it'll show up as 0. Your location name, that is actually going to be the high school. So I put in RHHS. I had put in the physical address for the school. So 1 Wildcat Drive. In Richmond Hill. Finish. This will initiate your account. As you can see, you have a calendar here. So from here, what we're going to do is we are going to go to your settings. That's the settings button over to your right. In your settings, this is where you're going to kind of set up exactly what you want your appointments to look like. When you pull up your calendar for the week, do you want it to just show weekly, monthly, daily? You have the option to change everything. You also want to set the first hour that you have an appointment. If you only want your appointments after school, then you want to set them for a specific time. If you're kind of open or you know that you're setting appointments for a day that you are, it's dedicated to meeting with parents, then you want to start it at 7 o'clock. Time slots, 50 to 20 minutes is probably the most that I would set. That's just my recommendation. Booking color, I actually would go by the service in the class. You do not want to allow for overlapping bookings because obviously that will allow for confusion as well. So once you have completed your options, you do also, so let me double back, you do want to show the customer's name on your calendar. You want to make sure that your students are seen there. You're going to hit save before you change anything else. Then you're going to go to your calendar preferences, our account details. Everything looks like it's free and up and going. You can add a telephone number here. I would suggest only using the school's telephone number and nothing else if you do add. You'll go to notifications. You do want to make sure this is set up. This will send the student or their parent an email when it's booked, when it's rescheduled, because you are able to reschedule and cancel your own appointments. Resources. This would be any items such as a syllabus or a copy of the student's credits, maybe even an academic guide. You would be able to update that and have that listed under your resources. Classes I wouldn't worry about as of right now, but since you have made sure that that's all good to go, you're going to go to your team members. Team members can actually be set up by your department. You can include other team members or your department head or even the principal as far as that's concerned as a team member. Resources, this is actually where you specify who can get the resources and when they'll get them. So if you did want to include syllabuses and things of that sort, that's where you would take care of it. the next thing you're going to want to do is scroll down to the bottom where it says apps and integrations. From here, this is the most important part. You want to scroll down to calendars. In calendars, you're going to click the icon where it says Outlook calendar. Then you're going to go over to Teams that's following the instructions on the screen. You're going to go over to Teams. You're going to select your person. That would be you. You're going to look towards the bottom where it says Outlook calendar sync import only. Click and make sure that's purple. Ms. Turner, if you'll log in when it prompts you. You're going to allow for the permissions. If I can get down here. You accept the permissions request, save it, and then key to most important caliber, make sure you click enable two-way sync and go to the top and hit save. This will immediately take everything that you have scheduled on your Outlook account and it will display in here as well as anything that's booked here will show up on your Outlook account. This is the most important part. You also want to make sure that you have your location set. You'll also see this change momentarily, so just give me a second. Services and work hours. This is the other portion that you would like to change. If you know that you can only have certain appointments you want to schedule on certain days, this is where you'll set your hours. This is all the way through. These can be changed from week to week, month to month. You have complete control over that. But we're going to change this to 8 to 2, I would say 2:30. That will stop her appointments at 2 o'clock. If you change them at 2:30. If you change it to 3, it will stop your appointments at 3:30. Just so you know. Do not, it looks like you should reserve all day, but when you do that, that actually opens up your calendar all day. So you want to make sure that whatever service hours you set in here are specific to what you want. It will not allow them to schedule an appointment outside of that time frame. And then you will hit save. The next item that you're going to address is go back to your apps and integrations. Now you're going to go down and you're going to include your Google Meets. So this will allow you to go into your activate button. This is going to link your basically your Google options. So when you someone sets a virtual appointment with you, it will automatically send them a Google link, a Google Meets invite, and it will show up on your calendar. Going back to the apps, you're then going to scroll down. If you're a Zoom user, which I know, Mr. Root, you're not.
Well, I am, but most teachers here will probably be using Meet just for security.
Okay, well, if in the event that you are a Zoom user because you have to share a screen specifically, you will do the same thing. You'll hit activate once you get into Zoom. It'll pull up your Zoom account, and what it does is give them options to be able to select what's more accessible to them. If it's a parent, if they already have Zoom, let's say loaded on their phone, they have a personal Zoom account themselves. It just makes it a little bit more accessible. So everything's been pre-approved. We're going to authorize here. So now, to double check this is all gone through, you're going to go to locations. This is how it changes. You have 3 various locations of which they can pick to schedule a meeting. This is how they'll initiate. Either they'll do a face-to-face. This is here, which currently that's not an option, but you have to have it in order to set up the account. And then you can integrate the Hangouts and Zoom meetings. You then will go to your online booking. This is your personal tab. This is where it's actually a link site to your calendar. So in here, I would recommend that you change it so it's personalized to you. It will make more sense to whoever's trying to schedule with you, and you'll save that. And then you are actually able to go from here, and you'll notice that you have options to put a booking button on maybe your personal website, or to include it somewhere else. That's up to you. And then when I mentioned teams, you are able to place your department heads, maybe your admin, on here just by adding a new team member. Once you have scheduled your appointments or they have been booked with you, you can see everything through reports. So it will import your full calendar on here, tell you when you have prospective appointments, or who you met with, how they were booked. I want to show you what Miss Turner's schedule looks like as of now. She doesn't even have an appointment with students scheduled yet. However, these are all of her actual appointments from Outlook. That's why it's so important to integrate. Once you have completed, you can go over to the overview. Like I said, this is also a breakdown. Go back to online booking, and you can click on your site. This is what it looks like to a student. So they are able to go in, like I said, to Hangouts. As far as services are concerned, these can be personalized. I will show you exactly what that looks like. You go up to services setup. I have clicked services. You can choose whatever you decide. I will go to the plus button. You can advisement meetings, senior meetings, however you want to deem your meetings. Let's put parent meeting. Locations, you can specify, if you choose, what you want them to be able to have for those specific parent meetings. Team members, like I said, you can add that. You'll always put 0 down for the price, and then the duration you can set up yourself. If you know it's going to take half an hour, you can set that up. You'll save that. Oh, let me make sure I put a location in there. I apologize. So let's do that for Hangouts, and we'll save it. Oh, team members. I always forget to choose the person. I apologize. Okay, so there's your parent meetings. If you ever need to adjust anything, you just click on parent meetings. It'll take you back to who you want to add your resources and your locations. You can make all your adjustments. Just make sure once you make the adjustments that you save. I also would recommend going in and adding time. So it does give you a little bit of extra in your schedule. So if you know the meeting's likely to last 30 minutes, you want to say after 30 minutes, give me a little extra time before somebody's able to book. And you'll save those changes. So going back to services,